Kia ora koutou. My name is Angelique and I'm the author of Isobar Precinct. I am also one of 75 contributors to A Clear Dawn, which I'm just holding up here. So it's a landmark anthology of Asian New Zealand writers, edited by Alison Wong and Paula Morris. My parents left Indonesia as refugees when I was a baby to escape the repercussions of the 1965 genocide and Suharto's subsequent new order. The main targets of the genocide had been PKI members and sympathisers, Guruani women, ethnic Javanese Abangan, ethnic Chinese and leftists. Our family fell into the last two categories. We arrived in Auckland in the early 1970s. Although my parents never said much about why they'd left, it clearly was a traumatic time for them, and even as a kid, I was always conscious of never bringing my problems to them because I could see how they were struggling with their own stuff. They never said anything directly, but I could tell how hurtful it was that many New Zealanders didn't have any idea of what they'd fled from, weren't particularly interested in knowing more, and instead the response was often along the lines of, "Well, you're lucky that New Zealand took you in then." Having grown up with this sense of being allowed in, I've always been hyper-aware of the need to carve out my own landscapes within I can simply be myself, rather than an identity others have set for me. This is reflected in what I write. It may also explain why I've always felt sorry for vampires. Growing up, I was one of the very few Asian kids at school, and I was always conscious that whatever I did would be perceived as something that all Asians did. One lasting effect of this is that even now I still have a tendency to shy away from the burden of representation. Having said that, my novel Isobar Precinct is deliberately populated with characters that reflect the diverse communities of Tamaki Makaurau. I never once considered setting the book in a different place. Story and location were a package deal from the start. Especially with all the speculative elements going on, I needed to feel grounded inside a city I knew, a city which I call home. I'm now going to read an excerpt from my novel, which I'll just quickly, there it is. And this section describes my main character, Listari. She's just on the road to visit her mum, who is in Ranui. Humming down the northwestern motorway in Talia's Prius, the sensation of movement, the sight of seawater lapping mangroves, and BFM turned up loud eased the slip knot around my throat. The feeling lasts until I enter Lincoln Road, the inevitable snarl up grinding the wheels to a near halt. Franchise Boulevard, when the massive scale developments were going down, devouring the vineyards and orchards in their wake. My dad said that, in the event of a zombie apocalypse, this is where it'd head. Warehouses of ready packaged food, tools for defence and gardening, structures that would last a century, and a clear view from rooftops to spot the undead. Aesthetics, though, I'd replied, having to stare at giant generic logos all day, I'd scratch my eyeballs out. Sweet pea, when zombies are attacking, will you honestly be sitting around poncing on about the Mitre 10 logo? Finally, I'm released from the gridlock, spat into Ranui, and then the street where my mother lives. Dead cars leaking fluids onto kikuyu, scraggly pittosporum hedges pushing up the remains of Coke bottles, plastic trikes, Barbie cars, Hal pizza boxes. Suburbia stretching 4 bus zones, neighbours in jandals and linty track pants buying cigarettes and milk and lotto tickets from the dairy. I slow down for some kids playing cricket on the asphalt before parking. Next door, a kid peeks out through heavy curtains. When the previous neighbours moved out, they hurled everything from the first story out the window. The couch got stuck, so they sawed its legs off, pushed it through. It landed on the footpath, foamy insides spilling out. It eventually got taken away by some passing motorist with a trailer who knows what he saw in it. And I'm just going to stop there. Thank you so much to Puka Puka Talks for including me in your festival. It's been an absolute honour to be part of it.